So that tells me that does, or that means something to them. And they even know that as well, which is
Yeah,
interesting. See, this is what,
yeah.
okay,
Like,
this is my
are
hot
they?
take. I think Zetsu lives matter.
Yeah,
Like, they just
bro.
do.
Zetsu, like they were sad, man,
That's what I'm
and they
saying.
care about each other. Toby's a good boy. Like Zetsu was like kind-hearted man.
Like, who are we to
He could be
say
kindness in this.
humans' lives matter more than Zetsu lives? Like, the
Yeah,
Zetsus seemed happier than the humans. Like, if anything, if we're going for total happiness, turn everyone in the world into a Zetsu.
yeah. They were pretty chill, and not only that, if you want to go by majority rules, it was 100,000 Zetsu versus 80,000. So they got the majority rules.
Not only do they seem passively more happy anyways, but it would also just solve a lot of conflict as well, which just would make people suffer. So it's from both ends. It's like lighting a candle for both ends.
The only so obviously I know, like, if you want to say, like, oh, that's an argument for the Infinite Tsukuyomi being their type of thing. The thing is, they are kind of just turned into different people. So to some extent, it wouldn't be Naruto. It would just be this new person, just as Hidari is in Sasuke.
Yeah.
It's kind of, especially if it's actually like we theorize as a potential possibility, if that's actually just a tree taking on Naruto characteristics, well, then, no, Naruto literally just died and created a new happy being. So it's not really Naruto's best future. It's just a new person being born. It's just like that's happy.
Yeah.
So that would be unfair. So it does depend on the mechanics here.
Well, to be fair, because you can consider it like this, hypothetically, if like conceiving a child by default automatically just killed humans, like it just did, like 100% guarantee, then
I mean, some species it kind of
yeah,
works
exactly.
that way.
Some
Like they
species it
just die
does.
after they give birth.
Yeah. And so it would be selfish for us alive now, this generation, hypothetically, if we were immortal, just to say, no, our potential children aren't allowed to live because we deserve to live more. Well, it's you're valuing one life over the other when both lives should be equal, or they should have the opportunity to live as well.
Yeah, and that's just where it's a matter of, well, I guess you just gotta pick. Like,
Well, I don't even think it's a thing of picking because it's not picking one or the other because Naruto's already lived his life. He already has had his chance. This hypothetical Naruto Zetsu, he's never even been born. That's the difference.
yeah, and it's yeah. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
but
who
then by
knows? I
that
mean,
logic, though, as far as we know, outside of this multiplication cloning business, they don't seem to be able to just give birth to brand new normal life. So there would be no continuation of the population with the Light Zetsu either. So either way, it kind of just ends. It either just ends with Naruto or ends with the Naruto Zetsu. It never goes beyond that. So I mean, like at that point, like,
not necessarily like we were saying
really
earlier,
just
the
like
Zetsus
what?
can just multiply. The Zetsus basically give birth.
But as far as we know, they aren't necessarily. They might just be like shadow clones. They might just be straight up exact copies of the original versus like Kashi and Koji being a new being. So
They
I feel like
could be
that would also
copies.
matter.
I don't think they are, but I can't prove otherwise. That being said, even if they're copies, even if they're the original life, they're still a new life. Like they're different from the shadow clones, where if you kill the original, then the all of the shadow clones just poof away because the original's dead. In this
It's fair,
case,
yeah.
it's the same as if us having children, if our children just were duplicates of us. Well, they're still not us.
Yeah.
Yeah, so instead of children being different, it's just the same as children being the same. That's
So
really the only difference.
this is gonna be goofy. This is a goofy next level, okay? The way the Carvacil is described, it makes it seem like it actually is just like cloning the original.
Yeah.
So by all rights, if that is the case, does Ishiki just deserve this? Does the Ishiki clone just have the right to just have that second life because it's not the original Ishiki under this hypothetical?
See, but this is the thing though, is hypothetically, because these white Zetsus just are the original people. What if those original people are just still deep down in there? And so then
What if that just is all of their personalities?
exactly. Like what if it's just adding on
might
top
just
of it?
be a goofy guy.
That's what I'm saying. So what if it's just like adding Naruto plus this new life? So Naruto's life never ends, quote unquote, or any like it's just continuing through this additional secondary life. At that point, it's not even a choice. It's
These
like
are the
the
questions I
only
wanna
objective choice. Yeah. No downside.
This is what I gotta ask, because I definitely want more Kaguya Zetsu lore tie-ins to the current events. Like, I want that. I want there to be someone, like, I guess Orochimaru in this case would be the one, to describe how the Shinjuu compare and contrast with the white Zetsu, or whatever. Like, I want in Naruto. Do you think we're going to get that, or are they just going to pretend like this shit just never happened? Like they have been?
I think they will do more with the Shinjuu, Kaguya, and the God Tree. I just don't know if they're going to give us what we actually want. Because I'm pretty sure they're going to do more with it, but it's about what they do with it, not if they're going to do more with it.
But do you think Zetsu will be part of that, or do you think they will kind of just not mention him?
It was a surprise when they brought him back in the Boruto anime, so I want to say no reasonably, but like it was a no reasonably before that Boruto episode, and so they can do anything. So I'm gonna say yeah, they absolutely could and should and probably will. I don't know. I think so.
Will. Yeah, will is my question. No, it should. Absolutely. Yeah. It's tricky. I really hope they do though, because I like the Zetsu stuff. I like Zetsu. I want more Zetsu to come back. I want Jura to make Zetsu.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Amado described them as like parasites. Really Otsutskis, but like Zetsus are like Otsutsuki related. If anything, I think at worst, it's commensalism. At best, it might just be mutualism. Like, if Naruto's in there, what if Naruto just is happier as a Zetsu than he was originally, in addition to the Zetsu now existing? Like, it could not be just the same thing. It could just be better for both.
It all depends on how it works. Is it like Venom in Marvel, where he just gets along with his host? Or is it like the bad Venoms where they are just evil? Like,
yeah. I mean, the Zetsus clearly don't want to die. Like, the Zetsus are scared of death and all this stuff. They're like running away from death, and they want to live, clearly.
Yeah.
So I think that must be for a reason. They're really all that miserable or suffering, even deep down, if we're going anime logic to where that matters with emotions deep down. Then they would be like some reluctance or like hesitation or something that would inevitably get them killed. But no, they always want to live, seemingly.
Yeah, the Zetsu do not seem to be ever suffering. Like the only gray area with the Zetsu, minus the taking over people aspect, would be, is it because, imagine they're just under Kodomatsu Kami, are they just under mind control? Because they do just seemingly unconditionally obey Kaguya, like they have no will in that regard. Is that the case, or are they just like? Yeah,
no, I don't think
boss.
that's the case, because they consider her mother, and so I think that's different. And plus the fact that we know that Sasuke can put them under Genjutsu, and that we see what they're like under Genjutsu. I don't think it is like Koto. I think that's just how they are.
Zetsu under. Wait, when did we see Zetsu in Genjutsu?
When Sasuke first awakens the EMS and like kills the original.
He Amaterasu him.
I'm not talking about the original. I'm talking about when he's like, do you not remember? When he breaks out of the hideout and he's like chasing down the Zetsu.
I do remember.
He captures one.
He may have Genjutsu them to get information out.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
To like find out where people are or what's happening or whatever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm mad at Sasuke for killing the originals. I'm not gonna
I
lie,
know.
that always hurt my feelings.
I
I always
know.
wanted the original Zetsu to be like Gurgur, where he's just if he's gonna die, he dies at the very end with the infinite Tsukuyomi, not by Sasuke. Like it could have been any clone, whatever. The fact that they killed the original, that's something I would rewrite.
I agree.
It's not that it matters, but I'm just not okay with it.
And
The original Zetsu deserved to be there till the end.
I just want to say, I've never seen a Zetsu that has any inkling of wanting to not live in any regard at all. They all want to live a lot. I cannot say the same about humans in Naruto. Look at Haku, for example. I think that's the perfect example. Haku should have been a Zetsu. Haku deserved to be a Zetsu.
Yeah, this opposite Zetsu, like, wait, he's opposite. Okay, Dad, like, it's not a mother. I will say the white Zetsu never called Kaguya a mother, as far as I'm aware. Only black
Yeah,
Zetsu, but they do obey her all the same.
I think it
Like,
would have just
the
been the
funny thing
same.
is, the white Zetsu seemed to be the one character that black Zetsu wasn't manipulating. They were just on the same page.
Yeah,
Like, they were
exactly.
just down for the plan.
Well,
like, he didn't have to shoot them.
there were some points where randomly, weirdly, the white Zetsu seemed to not have the same information that black Zetsu did, and then black Zetsu just wasn't telling the white Zetsu the correct information, but like going along with the white Zetsu's misinformation randomly, weirdly.
Like, when? Are you
Like in the
thinking of
Itachi
specifically?
fight, I guess. Or even like when
Well,
Obito joins the Akatsuki, quote unquote. At the
so
beginning
that
of
one's
Shippuden.
weird. That one's okay. Those two situations are really weird because Black Zetsu throughout the whole fight, it's just like he acts like he doesn't know the truth about Itachi, and then immediately after talks to Obito like, "Oh, thank God he's gone. That eye sore, that was a pain." Like he knew the whole time, and then um, obviously the Toby's a good boy one. Like, why are they doing that?
I don't know.
Like, wait, why is
Goofy.
Black Zetsu like Obito's just like White Zetsu's just like, hey, why don't we just let him join? And then
Yeah.
like, which is fair. Even like knowing the act, like I feel like that's a fair question. Like, yeah, why don't you have Obito join the Akatsuki officially? And then, but Black Zetsu's just like Black Zetsu's the one being like, oh, you think it's that easy? like, yeah, he's literally allied with Nagato. Like Nagato knows who he is. So why would he not let him join?
Yeah.
He's just like, no, Obito, you can't join.
I
You
think.
helped me form the Akatsuki.
What about this? So if you're gonna say that they're mind controlled or whatever by Kaguya, I think Zetsus are the simple type, just like Delta, so it'd be really easy to use a love charm on them, or omnipotence or something.
Yeah, that's actually that's just the Kaguya love charm, the mother charm, if you will.
I mean, I don't think they clarify that it has to be romantic love for the love charm. Like, what if some random bozo in
Well,
Konoha
no, because
is
in that
looking at
case,
Ada
it just
differently?
is Ada's omnipotence, just doing it that way. So, granted, Kaguya doesn't have omnipotence as far as we're aware.
As far as we're aware, yeah.
Yeah, I say that because I guess hypothetically she could have done it, but she didn't use it against Naruto and Sasuke.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that we know the Zetsus like multiply themselves, but they're not going around calling other Zetsus their mother. So, like, clearly they don't see Zetsu as their mother. It has to be someone. It's got to be Kaguya.
They just see him as the original, like
Exactly. They don't call him mother. They call him the original. There you go.
Now, what's really interesting, though, this is very random. I've always wondered this. Okay, in the Five Kage Seven, it's very understandable why the White Zetsu looks the way he does because he split in half from one body. I think there was a black half and a white half. Now, in hindsight, it's different how that worked, but that made sense at the time. What's really weird though is why did the original White Zetsu look the way he did in the cave when he just looked like a weird half body, and then the Black Zetsu just filled out his body to make it look normal? Like why?
Dude, honestly,
And also,
the white Zetsu
the other
that the
thing that's weird
Raikage
about it,
killed just looks like he should be the original.
he did look like the original.
The original one doesn't look like the
He
original.
was
The one that Sasuke kills just looks like another white Zetsu.
I gotta go back and look in the manga in a minute just to see how he looked. But yeah, the one the Raikage kill literally like looks identical to the original. And
Yeah.
also in the Five Kage Summit when White Zetsu wanted to fight Naruto, all of his clones looked like the original, if I remember right. Like they just looked normal. Whereas the Obito army ones look different for some reason. But anyway, beyond
Yeah, the
that though,
spoilers.
what also is weird is how when Black Zetsu split from White Zetsu, the reverse of what happened in the Madara's cave. Just the reverse. The like Black Zetsu left. Black Zetsu retains part of like the normal body look, like the White Zetsu. Like you see the white half where the center was.
Yeah.
He's got the spiny green things. He has a normal human physique for the most part. But then later on, he's just like a puddle of goo. That's where I think you could argue that's something that's like, okay, Kishimoto changed his mind to some degree because artistically that just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, that's something you could argue he had ideas for Zetsu, but artistically he definitely changed his mind because that just doesn't work.
Fair enough. Okay.